you gave me a perfect segue. You mentioned the brand swapping stuff. So you have an interesting approach to content. Apparently, there's some folks doing this, but I wasn't familiar until I talked to you. So can you kind of go into a little bit more depth so people have an idea how you're able to essentially, like, it's kind of modular content that you could like reuse over and over again, and it just makes things a lot easier, right?
Right. Yeah. So the idea is you have a bulk of content, and let's say it's on how to
Restring a guitar. Is that a good one?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
That can work. So you have how to string a guitar. My guitar is actually sitting in the back. It looks very similar to that Sunburst one you have back there. It's probably a lot cheaper, but
yeah, I'm trying to. I'm like, can I see it? And if I'm going to put you solo for the people that are just listening to the podcast. Now we can't quite see it, but there's other stuff over there. All right. I'm going to come back here.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
it's in
a case. Okay.
It's in a case. Yeah. So
we'll do show and tell later. Okay. Yeah. Keep going.
But,
Sorry.
I don't know too much about brands, but the basics of how to restring a guitar are very similar, at least to my knowledge. Of course, there's acoustic, there's electric, there's bass, but generally speaking, they all have strings, and the mechanisms are fairly similar. So essentially, what you would do is like write one article on how to restring a guitar, but then you can have another article is how to restring a Gibson guitar. I know there's a bunch of different Gibsons, but that's that's the concept here. And most of the content is going to be the same. Most of the order of how you how you put the strings on, how you attach them are going to be the same, but maybe there's something with Gibson guitars that there's something slightly different on
like the tailpiece or like the bridge pins or something.
Yeah, something like that. So, but the bulk content is going to be the same. So what I do is I have that main article, I, literally copy paste it into a new article. And then the part that is specific to the brand, I think like I have a Mitchell. So you could write it on a Mitchell, guitar. And now you don't have an infinite number of articles, because at some point it's not worth your time to break down to every single model. But now, if you're going to get people in Google that are like, oh, how do I restring a guitar? But there are plenty of people that are going to look up their specific model, how to restring that one. And if you can tailor the content to that specifically, they're more likely to look and click on your traffic because you're focusing on their specific query. So that's kind of that's the concept there, is that you're gaining the same type of umbrella traffic, looking for someone to restring the guitar, but you're, pinpointing more specific audience. So it kind of makes them also higher quality.
Okay. And some people may worry about like duplicate content or cannibalization. So what have you found in your experience?
Yeah. So in my experience, I've found that those people looking for the brand will find the brand article and nothing else. The overall query, so say restringing a guitar, it's possible that all of those could rank, but the likelihood of them ranking is low because they are specific to a type of guitar. It does have, I guess, it's probably somewhere in the 70 to 80% duplicate content in Google's eyes. Maybe that's why I'm seeing the decrease. I can't speak to if that's exactly the case, but to a human, the query of someone restringing, a Gibson or even a bass versus acoustic are two different people. And that's kind of how I approach it, is that the information they're looking for is specific to what they have in their hand or what they're looking to buy or something like that. So Google is going to treat it as such. That's my theory. I like to think that Google is starting to learn, kind of like a person.